Good morning and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am going to be taking a first look at The Age of Conan by Modiphius for their 2D20 system. This is an adaptation of the Age of Conan MMO that was published, released in 2009, and it was a great MMO for its time. It was cutting edge graphics at its time. Really, really good story for the first 20 levels in the game, and then it ran into the same kind of problems that many MMOs had run into um, during their development and such. So it kind of ebbed and flowed afterwards. Um, but the first 20 levels or so, the first 15 to 20 hours of gameplay were some of the best of its time. Now, you would normally think, well, why would you make an adaptation for a game that was successful but wasn't great success? And the reason being is that when Modiphius secured the rights for creating Conan the Age Adventures in the Age Unnamed of, oh my gosh, Adventures in an Age Undreamed of, sorry. When they secured the rights to this, they did several things. What they did was they first brought in writers that were true fans of Robert E. Howard's work. And one of the things that they really wanted to do was they were going to stay true to Robert E. Howard's writings, his stories, and they never deviated from that. Um, and they produced a phenomenal uh, independent game system. And I say it's independent because it's not derivative of any other game system out there. The 2D20 system is their own, and it really is probably of the independent games that I have. This is probably the most thorough and enjoyable to play. So it's a great game system, and they went all out in securing the rights and getting the right writers for it. What they also did, which is really an extraordinary thing, was that Modiphius then created connections to some of the other Conan related properties that were out there. And so that includes Monolith's Conan, that includes that included Age of Conan, and that also included the Conan Exiles, also a survival MMORPG. So they reached out and they made these adaptations of each of these, and I finally got my copy of the Age of Conan. Now there's a bit of a hang up with getting the PDF, so unfortunately I won't be able to show the PDF and go through that as I flip through the pages. So you're not going to get the best presentation of it, but you'll still get a fairly clear picture of the book itself. Also, what I wanted to do is I will shift screens here and go to a full screen view so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the core rule book for Adventures in an Age Undreamed of, the Conan 2D20 system. This is the Age of Conan supplement. You can see it's fairly thin because it's just a supplement and an adaptation of what went on in the early portions of the video game. And then here, I'll shift this over here. Here is the collector's edition of The Age of Conan. So, as I said, this came out in 2009, I believe. I had beta tested this when it first came out. So here is the, here is the collector's edition. There is a leatherette map that came with this, and that's actually in a display that I have in the other room. But it came also with an art book, and you can see the art for this game in general was phenomenal. I mean, just going through the concept art and everything, I could spend a whole video just going through this, and I probably will. So I'm going to follow up this video with some gameplay so you can see the Age of Conan in its all of its glory, and then actually show off the art book as well. So without further ado, let's get into what is here. So here we have it, and you can still see the phenomenal artwork here. I mean, top notch. I don't think that there is a company out there that produces tabletop RPGs that matches Modiphius's art. They get the best artists. Their layouts are very clean and very clear, and you can tell what they put in each of their supplements is top notch. Layout, their writing is incredible, and once again, their art is just untouchable. All right, so we have the table of contents, and the familiar and the strange is the introduction. The Age of Conan campaign, an age-old struggle. So they'll explain the campaign for the video game, and everything is adapted to their system here. So it's really amazing what they've done. There's archetypes that are found in the game. So there were mages, priests, rogues, and soldiers. They're a little bit more concise. They're more tightened up. And then there's new talents that are in the game that are now written for the 2D20 system. There are weapons, armor, gear, and foodstuffs that are unique to the MMO that are now brought over here. Relics, sorcery. Then there are encounters. And so there are specific denizens that were in the game that are now in, I will correct myself, in the MMO that are now in the tabletop role-playing game, and so on. The Hyborian Age is a gazetteer, so nice description in this as well. For those that are unfamiliar with the MMO, now they can see what information was gained from the MMO. This is really, really cool. All right, guilds and clans. What they've done here is they've taken the concept of guilds and clans that are commonplace in MMOs, massively multiplayer online RPGs, and they've actually put a mechanic in here, or at the very least a framework in here for you to create the same thing in a tabletop RPG. All right, that is really, really cool. All right, I've never seen that before. So once again, you have an independent company that not only secures some of the best IPs out there, but is also doing really innovative things. So that's pretty cool. And then Chapter 9 is the adventures and campaigns that are in, that are specifically coming from the MMO. So we go through and they start to explain, how the book was put together and how it works. You can see the layout. You can see the, in all of these brown passages. So you see these brown passages. It looks like a torn piece of parchment, and the writings. Those are direct writings from Robert E. Howard. All right, and then The green panels are basically their explanation of how various things work, and then the rest is just for, the remainder of the content and such. So almost every section with a an excerpt from Robert E. Howard's writing, and then you go into the opening setting of the MMO, and this is where the player characters in this supplement would also start. We have the archetypes that are associated with the MMO, plus guilds and clans. So let me read this. 2 new options available to player characters: membership in either a guild or a clan. These are described on the pages. They still have like the XX, XX. So they still have to update some of these things. And that's the one thing that's kind of, unless that's the actual page number. They tweak these things every once in a while, so I don't know how that slipped through. So maybe that's one editorial or editing issue that they had here. But the best selected during the character generation process, the game master should consider whether these options will play a part in the campaign. So the creation of guilds and clans I will get into in much more detail later on. So here are some of the mage types, right? So we have demonologists, we have necromancers, we have heralds of Zotli, we have different priests now. So these are all in the MMO, and now they're in 2D20. You have the priests of Mitra, you have the tempests of Set, and you have bear shamans. Rogues, you have the barbarian version from Age of Conan. So there are barbarians in, there is a barbarian archetype in the Conan 2D20 already. Same thing with assassins. All right, so these are AOC variants of those 2 archetypes. And then you have the ranger introduced here. You have under soldiers, guardians, conquerors, and dark templars. Once again, incredible graphics here. New talent. So you have companions now. All right, and once again, really unique here. I've never seen this before, but they have, actually maybe in Star Wars, The Old Republic, MMO. Human companions. So you can actually have human companions in this. Then you have the beasts and animal companions. Then you have supernatural companions. So again, this is coming from the MMO and now introduced here as a new talent for the player characters to choose from. We have new weapons, and basically the new weapons, many of these are going to be ancient weapons and later artifacts and such. So we have Atlantean weapons, Atlantean armor. We have gear and foodstuffs. So in an alchemist catch, and then we have the, a battle tonic, soul snake, mead, candied sea slugs, wildwood heart, rain of Katai. So various things that came from the MMO that they have now brought into the 2D20 system. We have relics. There's a number of them, quite a few of them. So these are, of course, the relics that you find like in an MMO. These are like after a boss battle, they drop these every once in a while. And so you end up having to recycle and go through those boss battles over and over again so that everyone at least gets a drop that they can use. So we have sorcery and some of the changes of, to sorcery, some of the inclusions from this. I mean, do you get better art than that? I mean, just incredible. It's almost like the eyes are just projecting through, such a demonic presence there. Just incredible. Um, so we move on. Now this looks more like it's from Conan Exiles, but certainly like one of the opening scenes on Conan Exiles. So here we go to encounters, and now these are the 2d20 translations or adaptations of what came out of the MMO. And so you have your attributes and then a breakdown. So the soldiers of the Black Ring, which were either minions or toughened, so they have an awareness of 7, an intelligence of 7, a personality of 8, a willpower of 9, and an agility of 10, a brawn of 11, and a coordination of 9. All right, so 7s are fairly average, and then anything above a 10 really is starting to become pretty exceptional. So they're pretty exceptional brawny characters for a minion, basically. Once they get to toughened, their attributes obviously increase, or their number of soak, which how much damage they can absorb, or their skills are much higher as well. Minions you get multiple attacks on, whereas toughened or harder you get fewer attacks on. So those are other advantages that they also have. The players would have over a minion versus a toughened character. So you have all of these various creatures that you see. Some are strictly minions. Here's a nemesis. All right, so a nemesis is a much more powerful challenge for the characters. So this particular one, special abilities is Necromancer, fearsome minions. So minions serve this particular Stygian Deathmaster. All right, and then we go on to some wild animals and such. So mammoths are toughened, obviously. So are lions, whereas hyena are only minions. Monstrous foes. So these are going to be the creatures that are either corrupted or they're monsters. They're not naturally occurring. Demonic Pict is nemesis. I was looking for the demonic bat, and I haven't come across it just yet. I might actually be in the adventure. Like I said, this is really my half first look. I mean, I have taken a look through the book slightly, but I have not actually dug into it very far. So the Blood Defiler Demon is a nemesis horror. Let's see what we got as far as the most powerful. Pretty much nemesis characters or creatures are going to be the most powerful that you face in 2d20. The Hyborian Age, so this is the Gazette. Awesome map. I mean, just the incredible full spread of the book map here. Then they give you a nice little breakdown of all of the different regions and countries that you will travel through while playing the MMO. So here begins the starting of the adventure as per the MMO. And so you start off in a shipwreck and you end up washing up on shore with basically naked, with nothing, no real equipment with you. And we go through, you'll see the map. So this is the actual map from the game is now recreated here. And they walk through all of the different stages of that tutorial, basically. And it gets you through. So here is the Black Ring Citadel. And so you come into this, this fortress here, and you have to start working your way through it. And this is all part of the Raids and Ruins section. Here's the House of Crom. The Onyx Chambers. So this is one of the early dungeons that you have to go through. Sanctum of the Burning Souls. So it looks like they took a number of different components from the first 20 or so levels that you go through in the MMO, and they drop these in here almost like scenarios. Like I said, I have not read through all of it yet, so I'm not sure if they're little scenarios that are dropped in or everything flows straight through, because they do seem to just bounce to different areas and then different things to do within those areas. Because I know White Sand Island is a whole set of different adventures that you go on. You around levels 18 through 20, pretty much. So it looks like they took different portions of the game, of the MMO, from levels 1 through 20, and just put them in here as drop-ins for various scenarios that you might want to run. So I don't see the connectivity running all the way through those 20 levels there. Guilds and clans, I will focus on this a little bit later on. But you can see, you can have guild names, you can have guild reputation, and the way the reputation system works here. Guild size, so you can basically create a guild and then have the players be a part of, the player characters be a part of these guilds. And they work their way through. You have a slightly different take on clans. You have new talents, so guild membership and clan member. So you have separate talents for each of those. And then we get to adventures and campaigns. So let's see. Minor deeds are those resolved in a single session. Usually involve only a single issue or problem to solve. And then we have, so several of those. And then we get to the Liberation of Tortuga was directly from the MMO. Actually, most of these are. And then Great Deeds. The Price of Miracles. And so they go through these much more harder scenarios to actually deal with. And then there we have the full painting of, this was one part of it. There's the other, and then back cover deals with everything that you have here in this supplement. That's some really, really cool stuff. I mean, I'm very impressed with it. Wish I had the PDF to actually go through it step by step, but hopefully they'll resolve that issue. I know they sent an email with the, with the access to the PDF, but it still came as a zip file. So I sent him an email saying, this came to me as a zip file. I can't open a zip file, so it's really kind of useless to me until you actually put it on the pledge manager. But hey, as far as the Kickstarter is concerned, I think I paid I think I paid about $380 for the Kickstarter back in 2015, and so there are just so many books in this set, and at the backing that I did, I got everything that they produce in hardcover as part of the first three waves of the Kickstarter, and then any of the many of these things coming now were part of the pledges that came in beyond that, so the extras. And so as long as there are PDFs produced, it's like I get a lifetime of PDFs for that backing that I put in, and then the hardcovers. Once the hardcovers from the pledge levels are done with, so we're already up to around like 24 or 25 hardcovers that came in this, as well as a PDF, a matching PDF with everything, uh, plus card decks and tiles and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there is just so much to this game system that if you were fortunate enough to back this when it was a Kickstarter, like I said, under $400, and I have almost 25 hardcovers and and decks of cards and other accessories as well, plus dice and other things, and you know a a game master's shield as well, for that. So really incredible, incredible art, incredible work that they have, put into this game system, and some of the adaptations that they're doing are just phenomenal stuff. So, hey, if you're looking for an independent, an indie game out there, something completely different from, playing Dungeons and Dragons or, Call of Cthulhu, although it has some inklings of Call of Cthulhu tied into Conan 2D20. Um, but if you're looking for something like really different out there, and you're looking for a solid system that's a lot of fun to play, it's a bit dark, it's a bit very action oriented and very cinematic as well, then you can't go wrong with Modiphius's Conan 2D20. And I think it's their best product that they've put out. Because I've seen the other ones like Star Trek and Dune and some of the others that they Fallout that they produced and everything, and I keep on looking back at Conan 2D20, and this is still, I think, their best product by far. So once again, I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions or comments about the Conan 2D20 system, then please feel free to leave those. I know DM James is huge on this system. He brings it up all the time. He's one of my featured YouTubers on my channel as well. So if you want to see some stuff that he's covering, certainly go over there and take a look at it. And just expand your horizons. If you're in the tabletop or RPG hobby, if you've just entered in, don't limit yourself to just one game system, or one genre. Certainly mix it around and see what else is out there. And there are so many innovative, independent, and OSR publishers out there that you really should open your eyes and take a look at these other game systems that are out there. I think that you'll be really impressed with what you find out there, as long as you don't limit yourself to just one genre or one game system or one company, and so much. There's a lot more out there in this hobby for you to see. So once again, thanks for joining. Hope you liked this video. Always look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. And have a great rest of your week. Take care.